Hey everybody, welcome to Noon O'Clock. I'm TJ Carpenter. Hope everybody is having a great Monday. It's a victorious Monday for the Broncos. So obviously we're going to talk about that. They beat the Seahawks 27-24. I told you guys it was going to be 20-17 Broncos win. So I feel like I was right in spirit. We will talk about that. Also want to get your thoughts on all the stuff going on throughout the game. There's a ton to talk about, good and bad. So we're going to get into all of that today. Also, we're going to talk about Von Miller. And Khalil Mack is getting all of the love today. And nobody is talking about Von Miller's great day as a defensive player. And he played the entire game well, not just one half. So we'll talk about that as well. As always, though, before we do anything else, I want to thank our sponsors. Brent Malia Properties with Coldwell Banker. Make sure you check out tjsagent.com if you're looking for a house in Denver. Brent Malia will help you out in a huge way. The kinds of companies we like to partner with here at Phantom are companies that serve their local community, and Brent absolutely does that. So check out Brent, what he's got going on over at tjsagent.com. He helped my wife and I get our perfect home here in Denver, and we could not be more pleased with the place where we're gonna start a family. So great community and a great place to buy a home right now. Really competitive housing market. So if you want a house that you know is going to appreciate in value, but you also are going to enjoy, it's not just an investment. It's about something more than that for you. TJsagent.com. Brent Malia Properties with Coldwell Banker. Also, if you need help with your mortgage, buying, selling, refinancing, does not matter. PlatteRiverMortgage.com. Check out Platte River Mortgage. Sean Sedita and his crew there took care of us. They made sure our credit was the best in the best place imaginable, and it was by the time we got an offer in on a house. So go to PlatteRiverMortgage.com. They will help you out today if you need help with that. And of course, also we want to thank Henry's Tavern. They were our hosts for our first watch party. Several of you guys showed up. A lot of people I heard from who comment on the show regularly. They were there. You guys were out there in spirit. A lot of people from around the country who unfortunately want to watch the game but don't like the national play-by-play guys. Want a little bit more of a family feel, a little bit more of a tailgate feel. Watch us. We're going to have another watch party this weekend, so make sure that you stick with us here on Phantom. And we'll get you all the details on all those. You get free food, all kinds of free stuff as well anytime you go to a watch party with Phantom. Okay, guys, let's get into the comments really quickly here. John is watching. Hey, what's up, John? Larry's in the house. Graham, Leah, what's up? What's up, everybody? John says, almost finished writing on all the Week 1-0 teams. Yes, would love to hear that. John does great work out there, so check out John's stuff. Graham says, nice shirt, good show. That's absolutely right. It's a Monday. I'm pretty sure Better Call Saul is on tonight. It's usually on Mondays. That's what I'm doing Monday nights. I am waiting for Better Call Saul to finish so I can fast forward through all the commercials while I watch Monday Night Football. Let's see here. Bryce says, when is Briscoe rolling? That's a good question. Briscoe has been MIA. He's been up in Chicago, of all places, with his girlfriend. But I am very interested to hear his thoughts on Patrick Mahomes' day, because I thought Patrick Mahomes had a good day. He had some really nice throws there, but it was also just a piss-poor performance from the Chargers. But I will say this, right now, it looks like the two best teams in the division are Kansas City and Denver. So then let's get to the game here. A couple more things on the comments, though. John said Briscoe said he'll be alive tomorrow. That's right. Okay. Let's talk about the Broncos and their 27-24 victory over the Seahawks. We all know that the Seahawks are bad, but we also know that Russell Wilson's amazing from top to bottom, and they had all kinds of injury problems yesterday. But look, the general sentiment around Denver today is that, look, man, a win's a win. It's still an NFL team, and they still have Russell Wilson, and don't apologize for winning a football game. I'm with you. I am all with you there. I thought that it was, generally speaking, it was a good performance. I was impressed with the wide receivers. We all thought that Emmanuel Sanders was going to be the guy that Case Keenum was going to throw the ball to most of the time. Turns out he was. Turns out Emmanuel Sanders is going to get like 15 targets a game. And I really like that about the offense. I think that he's probably going to end up being better suited out of the slot or more useful out of the slot. But first thing, I mean, everything I saw about the passing game, we'll get to the quarterback. Everything I saw about the passing game, skill positions on the receiving end of the ball was positive. I thought that was really, really good. They didn't. The offensive line looked decent. They had a good, solid rushing attack between two rookie running backs. I was pretty impressed overall with the offense, except for Case Keenum. He was the only guy. I was like, yeah, Jared Veldheer seems to be doing his job, you know. And look, the Seattle defense is not very good outside of Earl Thomas. You know, they're not a very good defense. Shaquem Griffin got picked on that play, showed a little bit of his rookie inexperience there on the touchdown to Phillip Lindsay, which was a great play design, by the way. Bill Musgrave did a really good job with a play with game planning for this game. I thought that overall, I would say, you know, the way that they designed their game plan and the way that they executed it was, I would say I'd give them an A in there. I thought that they did a pretty decent job with those games. Graham here is saying, worried about Keenum? Nah, not worried about Keenum. So you guys are not. I would like to ask the question: are you worried? Are you worried about Case Keenum? I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I will say that on Friday, Vance Joseph said, "Look, we don't need Case Keenum to win us a game. Just don't turn the ball over. Manage the game. Be yourself." That's what he said. Be yourself, Case. He can be himself. We'll be just fine. And I don't think that's what Vance Joseph had in mind when he said, be yourself, Case. The 3 touchdowns were good. The 3 interceptions were really bad. And everybody's been saying the same thing today. And I think it's an interesting phrase to use. Well, it's better than what we had. Maybe. I'm of the belief that it is in principle, but I wouldn't say that anything that happened in that game proves to me that it was better than what they had a season ago. Trevor Siemian, I've seen Siemian do that. You've seen Siemian throw 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Like, you've seen that before. The two interceptions in the first half, the first one was just on the seam route to Earl Thomas. He just forgot to look for the safety. I don't know how you lose an All-Pro safety in Earl Thomas in your cone of vision, but that's exactly what happened to Case Keenum on that first one. And then the other 2, I just felt like were a lack of arm strength. You know, you can't really fit the ball in there the way that you do, you know, in practice a lot of times. You know, those were problematic plays, I felt like. Those were issues. Everything else, though, on the offense, I'm like, receivers look good, running backs look good, offensive line looked good, tight ends were productive. I like everything on the offense. The game plan looked effective. The play design, the execution, all of that stuff. And I would say too that gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. The wide receiver. He's their. I got to pull up a roster here. Gosh, this is terrible. I want to say Taylor, but I don't think it's Taylor. But the Earl Thomas, Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick actually set a pick for Earl Thomas on that play, or not Earl Thomas, he set a pick for Emmanuel Sanders on that play. And Emmanuel Sanders, a big part of his touchdown was really solid blocking. They ran the pick plays well. I thought the blocking in general was really, really good during the day. Outside of Case Keenum, their offense looked good. And I didn't want to say it because I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought there might be a chance that their offense is actually better than their defense this year. And I think you saw some of the problems in the secondary as well. Now, the pass rush is the best in the NFL. I think their pass rushing unit is the best in the NFL. Chubb got half a sack, which is great, although I expected a little bit more in terms of just general pressure on the quarterback than what we saw. But he's a rookie. You know, they'll grow into that. But he had 6 sacks on the day, and then, you know, Von Miller created 2 fumbles, and then the takeaway. The strip sack, and then just took the dude's lunch. He's like, all right, this is mine, and I'm gonna go that way. It was a great play, and I thought that was. We talked about this on Friday. I said, what stat line for Von Miller would shock me? 6 sacks. If he got 6 sacks in a game, that would shock me, because it's the bar for like shocking from Von Miller is absurdly high. But like 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 recovery. It's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good all-around day. And he was terrorizing terrorizing Russell Wilson all day long. The whole defensive front was. I don't know if that's going to happen in every game because the Seattle offensive line is not that good. But he's not going to get the credit Khalil Mack does because Khalil Mack was such a huge story and we got so much attention in the offseason. A big part of his performance was that he just joined the team that week. Like less than 48 hours prior, he wasn't even on the team. So him coming in and doing that in that role was impressive. And Von Miller, obviously, he wasn't getting all the attention that Khalil Mack was in the offseason. So that's probably going to play into him getting Defensive Player of the Week, unless Aaron Donald or Ndamukong Suh or Aqib Talib or Marcus Peters or any of those guys. If anybody for the Rams defense doesn't just go all out, go ham, then I think it'll either be Von Miller or Khalil Mack. Or I guess they could do AFC, NFC. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at some of the other comments. Wade says, Broncos win, but the Cowboys lost. Cowboys did lose. I did not catch Ari's show earlier today, but I'm guessing that it was just all the flutter. Everybody was just worried about the Cowboys losing to the Panthers. I told you they were going to suck. I told you it was one of my locks. BetDSI.com. One of my BetDSI locks was under on the Cowboys this year. Let's see here. Michael says, who will win the division? At this point, I got to go with Kansas City, but I still hold out hope that the Chargers will improve. I just feel so bad for Phillip Rivers because he's been in this purgatory for 15 years where he is chasing a lead and he's getting no help. Everyone's hurt. There's no one around. He's got to go 90 yards, and that's what it was again against the Chiefs yesterday. That's where he is forever. He's in his own football purgatory for eternity. Let's see here. Gerald says Denver defense is going to get to Carr often. Von Miller looks awesome. Agreed. Like I said, he looks really, really good. I expect nothing productive from the Raiders this season. So it's among those three. I will say this. A win is a win. Are the Broncos good? That's my question here to you guys. If a win is a win, and we're saying the Broncos are a great football team, not a great football team, but we're saying that they've got enough to their name to say that they're going to win more games than they did a season ago and compete in a weak division. I think that's absolutely fair, based off of what we've seen so far. The most important thing I think that we saw was that Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman are clearly the two best running backs on the team. I don't know what Devontae Booker. Why is Devontae Booker on the team? I don't know. What is he for? What function does he serve? Other than giving the other guys a breather, so clearly should have kept D'Angelo Henderson. Anyways, that's not the point. Royce Freeman looked good, and Phillip Lindsay looked good, and they were both productive running backs in tandem. Got the same amount of carries, had basically the same long in terms of yardage, and had the same amount of yards. So they had the same yards per carry average. Like that's perfect. Perfect. Everything about what they did on offense, other than the 3 picks, is like, yeah, I'm for. I thought everything that they did was good on offense, other than the turnovers. Let's see here. Bryce says Sanders is the truth. Your defense was clutch. Good game, Denver. Thank you very much, Bryce. That's the thing. Emmanuel Sanders. We knew that Keenum was gearing towards. He was really favoring Sanders all offseason and through the preseason and in training camp. So I kind of thought Emmanuel Sanders was going to be the guy who was going to get the most touches, and it turns out he was. I was a little surprised that Demaryius Thomas got a lot more involved than Cortland Sutton. But obviously, I think a lot of that's probably we have a run game. Keenum will be good. You have faith, Graham, that Keenum will be good. You have hope. He will turn it around, and he will stop turning the ball over. Wade says, how about those Patriots, though? The Pats looked good. I thought on that, especially early on in the game, Brady to Gronkowski for that first touchdown. Gronk looked like Gronk, and Brady looked like Brady. So I don't, more of the same there. There's no update. Business as usual in New England. I did think that it was a little telling that Deshaun Watson struggled. And I said he was going to struggle, and I didn't understand why people were so gung-ho about just anointing him as the promised king of Houston. That was one productive half season, And if that's all that you can give me, like the NFL is going to watch your tape. They know what you're about now. They know what you're about. So it's not going to sneak up on them like it did last season. Wade said, what was also against a terrible Buffalo team. So, the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens. You put a backup quarterback in for that game. How often does that happen in the NFL? Buffalo's terrible. Terrible. Wade says, Mack or Miller? Which performance do you want? Mack or Miller? I'll say Miller. Miller was more consistently a threat. Von Miller? Absolutely, yes. I will take Von Miller over Khalil Mack. Yes, I bet. But I would say that at any point. Would anybody else say that? Let's see here. Wade says Denver improves to 500. LOL. Yeah, that is an improvement for them. From 5-11 to 8-8, that's an improvement for this team. My bar for Vance Joseph is not high. If he can get over, they can get to 8 wins, that's a dream for Vance Joseph. John says, is the finished post I said I do after this video, I'll do the 0-1 teams. All right, awesome. Yeah, check out that link John put in the chat there. It's a buy or sell post. Okay, all right, very cool. Meredith says, Lindsey and Freeman were beasts, those legs and power. Yeah, I think that's what you're looking at. I thought that was the most important thing. The most impressive thing to me was the running game. I was very impressed with the running game. Everything else was kind of what I expected. The defense, we'll get to that here in a second. I want to talk about Case Keenum first. Let's talk about this because, and I realize I should have done a Von Miller versus Khalil Mack question instead of the question I ended up going with, which is Von Miller 3 sacks versus Case Keenum 3 picks. Was the better of the best? Was that better? Was the better, or was the bad badder? Was the good gooder than the bad batter? What was more impactful? What are you more impressed versus concerned with? I guess I made this question too complicated. This is my fault. I screwed this question up. This was a bad question. I just I was outthinking things. I was overthinking this, so I apologize for that. But the point remains. I was really impressed with Von Miller's. I was also very concerned with the Case Keenum interceptions because the first one to Earl Thomas, he's on the seam route. He's just losing the safety. The other two were a lack of arm strength. I had a big, had some big reservations after that. I was like, okay, well, that's what's going to hurt him because against teams that are better than Seattle's not that good. Seattle's got a good quarterback, Russell Wilson, but we've seen that if you are that bad around a good quarterback, it doesn't really help the quarterback. The quarterback has to end up doing too much on his own, and that's what you saw from Russell Wilson yesterday. But against other teams, better teams, let's take a look at the Broncos' schedule here for a second. Broncos schedule. That's a win. I think at this point you can safely say they beat Oakland at home. Then they go at Baltimore. Baltimore is going to be tough. That's a good team, Baltimore. So that's probably a loss. Versus Kansas City, that's a toss-up. At the Jets, that's a win. Versus the Rams, that's a loss. But you're looking at like 3-3. You're looking at 3-3 right now, probably. Or 4. I could see them being 4-2 going after the Rams game. At Arizona, that's a win. At Kansas City, probably a loss. Versus Houston, that's a toss-up. Then they go into the bye week, and then after that they've got the Chargers, which they haven't looked great so far. Pittsburgh, if Le'Veon Bell's back by then, that's probably not a win. Cincinnati, that's on the road. That's doable. At San Francisco, probably a loss. Versus Cleveland at home, that's a win. At Oakland, that's a win. Versus the Chargers, probably a loss, but we'll have to wait and see. It's looking much more realistic that they could be 8-8 or maybe even 9-7 than it was previously, sure. But they've got to make sure that how often do you win a football game turning the ball over 3 times, throwing 3 picks? How often does that happen? Not very often. Let's see here. John says, Wade, tell TJ what I said on the Pats in the second half. They only scored 6 points in that game. Gerald says, yeah, what did you say, John? Gerald says, Lindsey is good on special teams and running back. Yeah, that's absolutely true. He was great in both in both categories. Also, too, we haven't talked about Pac-Man Jones. I thought Pac-Man Jones was a breath of fresh air, man. He had the good return that got called back early on in the game. So I think you have an immediate improvement there. You don't have to worry about your returner anymore, which is like, whew. But then you also have, he had the pick at the end of the game, which, it is what it is. But I would say, generally speaking, look, Bradley Roby played really well in the slot. You obviously have some issues in your secondary. If you feel like Adam Jones has some stamina, you got a little bit left in him on his legs, put him over on the other corner. Put Pac-Man Jones out there. I know he's old, but like if he can still play, he can still play. I was generally impressed with what I saw from Pac-Man. And look, this is nothing against Bradley Roby. I'm just saying Pac-Man knows that position, and Roby was good in the slot. Don't overthink this. Let's see. Michael says, we still need a safety that can cover a good tight end. Yeah, they can't cover tight ends. The Disley, that was just shit tackling. I don't know anything. I don't know what else to say. Shit on the tackling. On like 3 shits. I think 3 guys took a shit on the field on that play. It was terrible. It was really bad. He got 65 yards. They went 90 yards in 3 plays. It's like 30 seconds. They made it 90 yards. At the end of the half, that was bad. The secondary's got some problems. I think the secondary's not looking good. Even through the middle, I wasn't very impressed. But their outside linebackers are so good that it kind of covers up a lot of the errors that the other units are making. That's how good their outside linebackers are. They are so much better than the rest of the league at that position. They're too deep on both sides. And you can just rotate those dudes. I thought maybe it would be a benefit to Bradley Chubb. It turned out that everybody else doing their work was a benefit for Von Miller, who in one-on-one on one series, he had 2 sacks on that one series. The right tackle was just lost, man. He had no chance against Von Miller, and I was surprised by that because I figured that they would try to, put another dude on. Actually, I think on one play it was the tight end, and then the other play was the right tackle. But regardless, they should have put more than one. There needs to be more than one guy blocking Von Miller, I would think. But hey, you take what you get. Let's see here. Wade says, yeah, second half less impressive. They took their foot off the gas pedal for some reason, but their defense handled business, though. Patriots were old. I don't think it's indicative of any troubles other than complacency, maybe. Time will tell. I thought they looked like the Patriots. That's what I thought they looked like. Wade, Baltimore lost, KC lost, Jets win, AZ win. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Arizona looked bad. They look bad. Let's see. Michael says, to be honest, Denver looks better. Special teams with Pac-Man Jones and King, Marquette King. Defense with Bradley Chubb. Hopefully Sua Cravens. Not until at least week 8. Offense with Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, Cortland Sutton, Phillip Lindsay, and Royce Freeman. Keenum just needs to improve, and we have great chances. Yes, that's where I'm at, Michael. They're in a place where they're a quarterback away, and this is where where Broncos fans thought they were 3 years ago. after Peyton Manning retired, Broncos fans were like, "Hey, they're a quarterback away." Actually, there were 3 years, and now they're a quarterback away. There were 3 years and a quarterback away. So now they're just a quarterback away. They are. I hate to say that because everybody was looking at Case Keenum like, hey, man, all you got to do is not throw picks. And the only thing he does, he threw the 3 touchdowns. I don't know how much credit I want to give him for those. The Demaryius Thomas touchdown, and I'm probably going to piss people off with this take. I did not think that the Demaryius Thomas catch was a catch. His foot was on the line. It looked like it was on the line. I know I'm going to make a lot of you guys mad saying that. You take what you get. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to win or anything like that. I'm just saying that outside of that throw, which was a little too far outside, the other 2 touchdowns were much more about, I think, play design. And I want to give credit to Bill Musgrave for, and the run after the catch, than I do want to give credit to Case Keenum for making a good throw. Even though he had a really productive day, 355 yards, that's production. 3 touchdowns, 355 yards is good. The 3 picks is really bad. You do that against any other team, and you're going to lose. But against the Seahawks, who suck and were injury-riddled, you can get away with that. Because they were 2 of 12 on third down. Let's see here. John says, James Conner for the Steelers is showing some promise. Yeah, but I would say they would have beaten the Browns yesterday if they'd had Le'Veon Bell. And it's not necessarily just about the fact that he had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that he was. I think it was pretty good. He had a good day statistically, but it was a tie game. Le'Veon Bell, I would rather have Le'Veon Bell and James Conner than just James Conner. That's why you don't want to tie the Browns to start the season. That is just depressing. Say it out loud, and then you realize you're like, okay, all right, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. You just say it out loud. Do the out loud test. Does it pass that test? Don't tie the Browns to start the season. Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay, let's go here. Wade says, so many shits. I don't know what that means. Wade Zetterberg. Keenum throwing INTs. Get used to it, I believe. John says, Justin Simmons was good ball, has good ball skill. He does. Justin Simmons, the interception was really good. I thought the interception was impressive. John says, Chubb on the coverage on Disley. Yeah, well, you shouldn't put your outside linebacker in coverage. Hey, what's up, Eric? Eric watching in the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Huh, Eric? How about them Cowboys? Where's Ari? Is he here? Ari. Let's see. John says, same here. I didn't see it as a touchdown as well. Okay, so I'm not off on that. Dustin says, who's going to cover tight ends? I don't know. That they still have problems. They've had problems with that for a while. They need to get that figured out. TJ Ward could knock the shit out of a tight end, but I don't know about covering him. They were pretty good in general back then. Wade says, I have nothing but love for a sports guy that's nothing but honest. TJ Carpenter's nothing but honest. Making his takes above all the rest. No pandering here. That's right. Woo! Best takes right here, according to Wade Zetterberg, who is the authority on takes. Yeah, look, I think that they're an 8-8 team. They could be better if they stay healthy in the running back core. They've got all the pieces there, man. It's just there for Case Keenum to not screw up. I'm still a little worried about their depth on offensive line. Once guys start getting hurt, then we'll have to have another conversation about where they're at. But right now, as it sits, the Broncos look okay. They look like it's going to be okay. I don't know how much of that was Seattle being terrible, but a lot of it, I feel like, was the Broncos being better, which is a good sign. John says, fair on the Steelers. G says, what up, guys? Yeah, what's up, G? What up, G? How about them Cowboys? Huh? How about them? That's some of what else is going on here. All right. Okay. All right. I think we've already made it all the way through all of our graphics, which is just spectacular. Just wonderful. Let's take a look here at some of the comments. Pete says, I question Demaryius Thomas's touchdown also, but I am forever a Broncos fan no matter what. Hey, that's right. Hey, they reviewed it, and they said touchdown. So it is what it is. I just thought, that was one of those plays where, first of all, I thought in real time, I thought it was intercepted. But good catch, good effort. I don't want to take anything away from DT or from Case Keenum on that throw. I just thought his foot was on the line. That's just how I saw it. Wade says, I'm the authority on many, many things. I believe that. John says, neither can Marshall or Davis on covering tight ends. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. Wade says, what up, G? Everybody's looking forward to G. G's in the house. G saying, don't start TJ. Yeah. Come on. What happened? I thought you said Sean Lee was going to intimidate Cam Newton. What happened? Pretty sure Cam Newton was doing his Superman thing. He had like 3 or 4 Supermans yesterday. Let's see. Gerald says, Broncos have an easy schedule. Wade saying, hey, Eric. What up, Eric? Also, we got Cedric in the house. What's up, Cedric? Gerald says, Broncos have an easy schedule. It's favorable. Yeah, it's favorable. I think their schedule's favorable for 8-8, which puts them in the hunt, at least for a wild card in the NFC, because the NFC is really top-heavy. Although I think a lot of people think the NFC South is going to have both of them. Look, I wouldn't sleep on the NFC North. I'm sorry, yeah, the NFC North. The NFC North, we were talking about this on the morning show today. The NFC North, because Cousins and the Vikings looked spectacular. The Bears looked really good. Aaron Rodgers was unconscious. I don't even know where to start with that guy. And then you've got the Lions. The poor Lions. The Lions, this is the best quarterback they've ever had in the franchise's history. And they have no chance to win the division. None. They have none. There's no chance. The Bears, I think, might be the third best team. The Detroit Lions may be the bottom of the division at 8-8 in the NFC North and not make the postseason because they're third place, they're a fourth place team in a division that's just stupid. So, yeah, unfortunate for the Lions, man, but that division is brutal. But 8-8, that puts you even. I think that the winner of the West this year is going to be a 9-7 team. It's either going to be a 9-7 Chargers team or a 9-7 Chiefs team. But it could be a 9-7 Broncos team if the Broncos win the right games. Because I think this is going to be one of those third tiebreaker kind of division races where it's like, well, everybody's the same record. What do we do here? Well, we got to go to head-to-head. Well, we got at least 2 ties, and then we go to a third tiebreaker. And you're like, okay, well, what's a third tiebreaker? Do we have to go to a fourth? I think the third tiebreaker is it turnover differential or is it point differential? I can't remember which one it is. Does anybody know what the third tiebreaker is in division races in the NFL? I should know this. I forgot what it was. I think it's turnover margin. Or is it road record? What is it? Somebody help me out here. G says, great, now you got Wade started too, TJ. I'm sorry to pick on you, G. But look, man, the Cowboys have nothing going for them on offense but Ezekiel Elliott. I think that Dak Prescott kind of wishes he had a better offensive line and kind of wishes he had more wide receivers. That's what I think. Michael says, last year we had a tough schedule. They had an average schedule last year. I mean, losing 10 games in a row, it's going to make anybody think they have a tough schedule. John says, I'm not buying on Denver just yet. The defense that Denver faced wasn't too solid, and I don't like to see Case against a tougher team than the Seahawks. Wilson was good, but he has a one-man show. That's true. G says, I blame the loss on Wade. He jinxed us. Wade says, I mean, even you said the Cowboys are going to win their bye week, G. LOL. That's right. There we go. Conference record? Okay, yeah, that's right. Conference record. Conference record is the third tiebreaker? Or is that I thought the first tiebreaker is record. No. The record is the tie. The first tiebreaker is conference record. Then the second tiebreaker is road record. And then the third tiebreaker, I think, is turnover margin or something like that. Wade said commonality in record, like mutual opponents. Yeah, conference record. Who wins tonight's games? Oh, tonight's games, Rams, absolutely. And then Jets are going down. So, yeah, those are you got Lions and Rams. I got Lions and Rams, too. Yeah. Lions and Rams. I think we're kind of consensus here as a community. Lions and Rams it is. There was actually some interesting things that happened in the NFL over the course of the weekend. I thought that were that were really interesting. These games tonight are going to be really good, but I thought the first thing was Ryan Fitzpatrick is just astonishing to me. How does Ryan Fitzpatrick have the kind of performance that anything? I think Shaquille O'Neal was called the big Aristotle because he said you are what you can do consistently. And what does Ryan Fitzpatrick do consistently? Nothing. He could throw 6 picks, 4 touchdowns. He could he could outduel Drew Brees on the road. That's every once in a while he's just going to be like, oh well, that's what he does. He is what he is. He gets 6 interceptions, and then all of a sudden 4 touchdowns. He's better than Drew Brees. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback for 4 quarters. It's unbelievable. What do you do if you're Tampa Bay with that? I'm not running to the waiver wire to pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know what he is. Don't be deceived. Let's see. John says home and road record. Wade says and Tigers. Oh my. John Misak is confused, I think, right now at this point. Okay, also, so I mentioned Ryan Fitzpatrick. Kudos. Patrick Mahomes, there was one throw he had to the fullback, Anthony Sherman, against the Chargers that I thought was as good as any throw that you will see a quarterback make. Aaron Rodgers is remarkable. In fact, I think there was a report that said that Tom Brady once told a coach that if Aaron Rodgers had the resources and the coaching and the talent around him that he has in New England, he'd be better than Brady, that he'd have 7,000 yards. Which does not sound like something Tom Brady would say. I don't know if I believe that report, but Aaron Rodgers is remarkable. He is playing at a higher level as a quarterback than anybody else in the league right now, and it's not really debatable. Now, he doesn't win as much for a multitude of reasons, one of which I think is a little bit about his nerves in the fourth quarter. He's pretty rock steady. I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers. He's one of my favorite players in the league, but Brady just has the way of figuring stuff out late in games that I don't think any other player's ever possessed. I've never seen anything like him. Wade said, Fitzpatrick can drop my French fries at Mickey D's consistently. G says, our team had their heads in their asses. We will still win the Super Bowl, fellas. Relax. I love your confidence, G. It's misplaced, but I love it. Gerald says, is Vance Joseph safe this year? Probably. I think he is. This team is good enough to save his job. But, that's a weird thing. Because now there's a little bit of an expectation that they should win games because we've seen them play at full strength. When healthy, they look decent. They look organized. So if they end up being bad, if they have a losing record this year, maybe he gets fired because you're like, well, clearly you had enough talent to win with this team and you didn't. That's on you. You're fired. That could happen too. Let's see. John says Bucks passing talent was that they had that Winston couldn't. Bucks passing talent was what they had that Winston couldn't. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Pete says, can we just do away with the Raiders completely? Throw them out of the NFL, please. The NFL would be fine with 31 teams. Yeah, sure. We don't really need the Raiders. I don't think anybody needs the Raiders. G says, gotta go, guys. All right, G. Thanks for stopping by. Peace. Deuces. John says, not buying in on the Chiefs if the defense can fix things up. Well, look, Andy Reid does this all the time. And that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes did yesterday. He had a good throw to Anthony Sherman. That was a good throw. Legitimately on the money. You cannot put that ball anywhere else. That was a perfect pass. But the other things were just Tyreek Hill's faster than everybody else. That's what that was. So, Chiefs are we'll have to see a little bit more. I'm very, very, very disappointed in the Chargers. Just disgusted, really, to be honest with you. G says, I will rewatch to make sure y'all don't talk bad about my boys. Go right ahead. Please, by all means, do. If you're watching till the end, it's exactly what we want. Wade says, I believe Brady to be humble enough to say something similar to that, even if he didn't believe it. About Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, I mean, Rodgers is objectively incredible. So it would be hard for me to see that Aaron Rodgers is or that Tom Brady's refusing to acknowledge how good Rodgers is. But I would still say, in my mind, in my rankings of who would I rather have at quarterback to win me a game, I'm still saying Brady. I mean, I am, and I can't get over what I have witnessed with my own eyes, which is Brady wins games. I don't know how he does it. It's a different, unique way every time, but he does it. I know what Aaron Rodgers does. Aaron Rodgers is better than others. He's better than you. I don't really know if I can, and this is what intrigues me about the Patriots, and has intrigued me for years about the Patriots. I can't really tell you what makes them them. I can't place my finger on it. And that is the real mark of a team that is still capable of beating Because usually with greatness, you're like, ah, well, Jordan, sometimes he's unstoppable. He's just going to make the shot. That's Jordan. It was like less effable. You're like, I don't know. He makes it all the time. I don't know how he does that. That's how you explain Jordan to people. And that's how I explain Brady to people. It's like, I don't know. He always does it. It's amazing. You can never count out touchdown Tom. But with Aaron Rodgers, you're like, yeah, well, here's what he does. He's amazing. He throws the ball more accurately downfield than anybody else. He's precise. You could say all those things. It's a very, I think, definable thing, and everybody also knows that the team around him isn't that good. So it's like right there on display. He's remarkable, but it's a weird thing with the Patriots. I can't tell you what it is. Somebody, I'm guessing, is going to say cheating. Let's see here. Let's wait till we see what the... Mark says, problem with covering the tight ends. Michael says, which player you think that if he gets injured will be the worst for the team? Well, for the Broncos, I would say at this point it's... Man, I would say probably Garrett Bowles, somebody on the offensive line, because if Case Keenum has less time than he had on... I thought he had decent time. I thought those interceptions were really on him, not on the offensive line. If one of those guys gets hurt and he starts having less time, I would say that significantly hurts them. John says, I was saying that the Bucs receiving talent was better with Fitzpatrick than with Winston. Sorry on the confusion. Yeah, it's definitely smarter. That's for sure. Mark says, what's up, TJ for president? Thanks, Mark. Wade says, I swear, Tyreek Hill's related to Benny Hill. When he runs, I hear that theme song, and everything goes in fast-forward mode. Yep, that's exactly right. Gerald says, what is the injury report on Rodgers? I don't know yet. I think that their press conference is either going on right now or is starting at 1. I know Vance Joseph's press conference is starting at 1 o'clock here in about 10 minutes, I think, is when he takes the podium. Wade says, you can beat them. You can't beat them. You can only hope to contain them. Brady, Jordan. I mean, they are beatable. I mean, Brady has lost Super Bowls. So he's lost 3 Super Bowls now. So he is beatable. But I can't really put my finger on why he's so good. It's just I know that he is. And those are the players. Look, I think Aaron Rodgers is a lot like John Elway. He's a lot like John Elway in that he's not getting a lot of help. He's not getting a lot of coaching, and everything he does is amazing. And he's probably going to lose. He's probably going to lose a lot in the postseason against teams that have more talent overall. That's kind of the curse of being that talented. Is everybody else just kind of expects you to do all the work, and that's what I see up in Green Bay. That's what it was with Denver and John Elway for a long time. It was just like, well, okay, well, Elway will say this. How's he going to do that? He's going to throw a touchdown pass. It's going to be 60 yards. It's going to be on the money. It's going to be a touchdown. That's how it's going to happen. And Brady's not that guy. Brady can't be that guy because he's not that physically gifted. He has to be smarter, and he has to make the right decisions always. And you're like, how do you beat that? How do you beat somebody who never makes a mistake? Because Elway would make mistakes. Manning would make mistakes. Most quarterbacks make a lot of mistakes. Brady never makes mistakes. Ever. He never does. Very rarely will you say, yep, that loss was on Tom Brady. It just doesn't happen. John saying Vaughn for him. Mark saying Lindsey number 30 and Freeman 28. Wow, I was impressed. Yeah, I said the most impressive thing to me from the Broncos game on Sunday was the running attack. I was impressed with Royce Freeman. I was impressed with Philip Lindsay. That's your bread and butter. Because if you have to throw that much, I think it's kind of like, if you're throwing that much, Case Keenum's going to turn the ball over a little bit. And that's when you get in trouble. They beat the Seahawks. They got away with it this time. But your bread and butter as a team for the Broncos, Royce Freeman, Philip Lindsay, that 1-2 punch, play action, that's your offense, man. And I thought they showed us some good stuff. Mark says Booker sucks, dude. Booker does suck. I don't know why he's on the team. They should have kept D'Angelo Henderson. I don't know what he's for. Jake Butt looked good. Jake Butt did look good. I thought Jeff Hireman looked good too. Everybody wants to see Jake Butt take over that role, but I thought Hireman in training camp and out here in the first week looked really, really good too. So they have a plethora of talent around Case Keenum on this offense. I think the offense is better than the defense, which is saying something because the defense has Von Miller on it. So I would say that's a pretty good sign. Their secondary is a problem. Secondary is a problem, quarterback's a problem, which those are fairly important things in the NFL in 2018. So I will continue. I'm cautiously optimistic right now. Are the Broncos good? Maybe. I would have said, if you'd asked me a month ago, are the Broncos good? I would have said, no, they're not good. Now I'm saying, are the Broncos good? Maybe. Maybe they are. Maybe they are good. I think it's totally reasonable and rational to watch what you watched on Sunday and say that the Broncos have a chance. That's totally reasonable at this point. Oh, pass blocking. Mark says pass blocking is why they kept Booker. That's definitely a possibility. Because they've got two rookies who don't know what pass blocking really consists of at the National Football League level. So that's also entirely possible. Okay, you can pinpoint those losses on Brady. I didn't. I didn't. I don't think you can. But what I'm saying is that he has lost games. Jordan never lost a finals, and people are always going to bring up that Brady has. It's just the reality. Kelly. You want Chad Kelly? Oh, we're already going to Kelly? One game in? Do you see Chad Kelly this year? I say yes. I think you do see Chad Kelly this year. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's definitely a thing. You will see Chad Kelly this year. Probably a bad thing. Probably means that Case Keenum got hurt, which I don't want to see Case Keenum get hurt because he's a nice guy. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Noon O'Clock. I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure to watch. Make sure to also check out our watch parties. We're going to be all over Denver for our watch parties on NFL Sunday. We're going to be at Henry's 16th Street Tavern in downtown Denver. We're going to be at Oscar Blues, which is on Market Street in downtown Denver. We have a ton of places to go for this NFL season, and we want you to tag along with us. We're going to be out there on a regular basis for you right here on Phantom. And also, don't forget, if you're looking for a house in Denver, go to tjsagent.com. Brent Malia Properties with Coldwell Banker will hook you up. We were very fortunate that we got Brent as our real estate agent. And so what turned into what was originally a very hectic process trying to find a house here in Denver turned into a very enjoyable and advantageous process for us. And we couldn't be more excited about the house that we got. Also, too, if you need help with your mortgage, buying, selling, refinancing, PlatteRiverMortgage.com. Platte River Mortgage has been helping people in the Denver area for years. They can help you as well. They helped us and made sure our credit was in the best possible condition. And we ended up getting a great rate on our mortgage thanks to Platte River. So thank you guys very much. And make sure, if you're looking for a house in Denver, Brent Malia Properties with Coldwell Banker. And if you're looking for a mortgage broker, Platte River Mortgage. PlatteRiverMortgage.com. All right, guys, let's finish things up here with some comments. John says, wait a bit with more game. Jenna, and I'm here. Jenna's also there. Yes, it's so much better, LOL. Wade said, Jenna presence makes everything better. Sure it does. Gerald says, peace. Jenna says, read the comments, TJ Carpenter. I am reading the comments right now, Jenna. Later, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.